was at Florida State, I think I'm just like, I'm just a normal girl, right? And I'm at Florida State, and at the time, two of my friends were like, "Oh, you should be a Playmate centerfold." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm in college. I'm doing really well in college. Gonna end up being in the CIA or something, because my mom."
Ooh, you'd be a good CIA agent,
It'd be fun. So I think, but the reality of it, right? I watched too many.
It's not
movies.
like James Bond.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. You're in some foxhole somewhere, like.
Yeah, I know. But so when I was at college, I was like, and I've always been spontaneous. Like my parents had me pay for everything growing up, college, my car, my phone, everything. So I'm used to like working.
Being self-reliant. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I've always wanted to go to California. So if I do a test shoot out there, like they're not going to choose me. Why would they choose me? So I just sent in bikini photos. They emailed back and they're like, hey, we'd like to fly you out to LA to bring you out here. And I'm like, all right, like didn't expect that. I remember sending photos and then you had to send actual nude photos to the email address on the website. So I just self-timer camera and I'm just like so awkward and then sent that in. And I was like, what if the email address is wrong? What if it's not legit? What if it's not them?
Fishing expedition.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. And then the next day I'm walking around school like, well, my career's over. And then I got an email back saying, oh, we'd like to fly you out to LA for a test shoot. And I was like, oh, thank God. So it's legit email. So I ended up flying out, doing the test shoot, staying at the mansion for a week. I met Hef, and he was like so nice, such a gentleman. I met the other playmates that were already playmates. And then I flew back to Florida State, and I was like, all right, did my test shoot. They're not going to choose me. And they messaged me back like 6 months later and being like, oh, you're approved for a centerfold. And so it happened that fast. And I'm like, okay, like I'm a centerfold now. So from there, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do much in government work anymore. So
probably includes a little government work.
Yeah.
Although under Donald Trump, though, he might like, oh, that's the perfect.
Right.
Be my right hand, my assistant.
Not sure if I would go that route, but I ended up moving down to Miami and then studying acting there and then looking for acting roles because I'm like, all right, modeling's cool, but that's
it's very
not
short,
me.
also a shorter, right?
Yeah, there's not much longevity.
And you're also a smart girl, so I think that it's almost like that's just so physical outward, right?
Yeah.
Were you a centerfold playmate?
In 2011
Wow.
for October. But yeah, so I was 19 when I did it. And then I was like, all right, great. This gives me a platform. I can go to LA. I can find my management and agency. And then everybody was like, oh, you have to stick to these roles that were just putting me back to like a stripper role in a movie or something. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, that's not going to do anything for me. So I just would say no to those. They're like, well, you have to show us your reel. I'm like, well, how do I get the reel?
I get it, right.
So then going back to
and
now.
That's how it all started.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to prove I can do other things and really focusing on comedy, on internet comedy, because for me, that's the best way to rebrand myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I first became a playmate, I was like, there wasn't really social media. I think I had like 20,000 followers on Instagram, and which is a lot of people. But at the time, I'm just like, I didn't think of social media like that. And then when I started growing on Vine, that's what I used to rebrand myself because everything was in my own voice. So I'm like, all right, minimize the sexy content, like seed it here and there, but then just focus on, really just.
So it was very deliberate. You had a strategy, right? You had this sort of outcome in mind, and you sort of backed into that strategy every day, doing what you had to do, right?
Yeah.
And how long did it take till you started? Say, wow, you know what? It's actually working. Was there ever a moment where you're like, holy shit! Like, look, it actually worked. Did you have that aha moment, or it just kept going and going? And you seem because here's why I ask, because you seem like the person, you're very driven. You are. You're very successful. I'm the same way, so I'm not saying it's a good thing, but you're very much of like forward thinking, and not that you're never satisfied, but I don't think you want to rest on your laurels, right? You're always looking what's next, and it kind of drives you in some level. To me, it makes me happy. Like when I'm at my happiest when I feel like I have this great idea.
Oh, same.
It's almost like before I get there, I'm happier as I'm thinking of it and planning it. And then it's fun to execute it, but it's like always like the what's next, what's next.
You complete it and you're like, all right.
What's the next step, right?
Exactly.
So what was your point where you said, okay, well, I don't know. So what exactly happened with Vine? What happened?
It got deleted. So on Vine, when it got deleted, I think I had like 4 or 4.5 million on that.
Why did it get deleted though? What happened?
Because so Instagram came out with Instagram video, which was 15 seconds long, and on Vine we had 6.5 seconds. And also Vine didn't really have, it was too late by the time they did this, but Vine didn't really have people for the creators to go to. They weren't really supporting the creators as much because it was such like a new, fresh platform, and then Twitter took it over, so things started changing with the people internally. So there wasn't really time for them to have that direct communication with the creators that were really feeding the entire platform.
Sure. Yeah.
So give us a new platform that has even more reach than Vine,
Right.
Instagram, and that has 15-second video. Of course, we're going to go there now. Minimizing the amount of time that we're producing content because time is everything, right?
Right.
So we're doing 15-second videos and then cutting it down to 6 seconds and throwing it on Vine.
Got it.
So it had the leftover content. So why wouldn't you just watch it on Instagram?
Sure.
And also, it's like platforms are launched with generations too. Like even with TikTok now, it's basically like Vine was, you know. You smile because I know you're doing TikTok content. It's good though. It's smart.
I texted you last. I said, Amanda, I'm doing a TikTok video. I don't know if you want to still speak to me anyway.
Yeah. No, I do TikTok too. I think you're so smart for doing it because it's a whole younger generation too that's on there that you need those younger generations to know about you, to know about your brand, to continue your growth and have longevity.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was when we were on Vine ended up being deleted because they weren't supporting their creators as much as they should or giving them incentive to create original content for the platform. And also it just like kind of died out with that generation too. So Instagram kind of took over also. Like, you know, they're like, all right, you get a minute now. All right, yeah. But it's still like short enough to be able to consume it really quickly on the platform that people are satisfied.
So when you say deleted, just vanished?
Yeah, all the profiles are deleted. All the videos are deleted. They were like, save your videos because all the content's going to be gone off the app. Who knows what they really did with it? Because there's IP in there and that's valuable for something, right?
Yeah. Something, anyway.
So maybe they're going to turn it into something else.
What's the lesson? I think there's a lesson here, like from you as a creator of content, right? And you saw what Vine did wrong and what Instagram did right. What could you crystallize that into like just one thought? Like, what was the big thing about? Was it they were more attuned to what the content creators want? What was it, you think?
I think it was just Instagram overseeing what was happening, being aware of what's going on around them, right? And seeing what's working and being like, all right, cool, let's watch that work. Let's see the gaps that they're missing. And let's take everything they did, what works, and just fill in those gaps and have an even better product than the other platforms.
So essentially, it's constantly looking at the business model, seeing what's working, what's not, tweaking it, stopping what's not working, improving what is working, and scaling. It's basically that.
Yeah, but with that though, you do need a lot of power already to be able to do something like that. So I think Vine was smart in the sense. So if I'm thinking of myself as a business, right? I'm Vine. I'm like, all right, there's a need for short form video content of an organic platform with creators. So I'm going to build that easily and slowly and just let it organically grow because there's a need for that. So people are going to use it. It's a great product. So in developing that, they were successful too because they sold Vine to Twitter. So they were successful in building this platform and selling their products, and then selling their brand.
Right.
So they did a great job with that. But then,
Once Twitter took over.
Yeah, they had it there and they didn't do much with it, But who knows, maybe they just wanted it for their own IP and then they didn't really care about the platform.
I look at you as a really successful entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Right? No, I really do. And that's why we're going to actually do a tour together in colleges, which is going to be so much fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that.
That's going to be amazing, right?
Great idea, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.